The relationship between Zelensky and Macron transcended conventional political alliances, characterized by frequent communications, face-to-face encounters, and mutual public support. Macron's advocacy for Ukraine extended to the international arena, where he pushed for stronger sanctions against Russia and sought to unify European support for Ukraine. He also played a key role in attempting to mediate peace negotiations despite a challenging path to a resolution. Despite many challenges, France's steadfast support for Ukraine was clear. Its comprehensive aid, ranging from military to humanitarian assistance, alongside Macron's vocal international support, positioned France as a fundamental ally to Ukraine. Personal bond between Macron and Zelensky added a human dimension to the international response, highlighting the importance of leadership and personal relationships in navigating crisis. But things have changed.
Welcome to TFI Global, the antidote to mass delusion.
The valuation of France's military assistance to Ukraine has been a subject of intense debate, with figures varying significantly between different sources. According to the Kiev Institute for the World Economy, as of July 31st, 2023, France's contribution stood at 533 million euros. However, French authorities have presented a markedly higher estimate, claiming the aid amounts to approximately 3.2 billion euros. In October 2023, the French National Assembly approved a notable initiative establishing a 200 million euros special fund designed to co-finance with Ukrainian authorities for military and related support, potentially exceeding the initial allocation. Moreover, France had pledged a 1 billion euros contribution to the European Peace Facility, an EU fund dedicated to supporting military aid to Ukraine, among other objectives. This significant commitment positions France as a leading contributor to the collective European effort to provide military assistance to Ukraine. In addition to financial contributions, France had announced further material support in January 2024, including the provision of additional Scalp EG cruise missiles and hundreds of bombs. Specific quantities were not disclosed. The continued production and supply of Caesar howitzers, which have been commended by Ukrainian forces, further exemplify France's role in supporting Ukraine's artillery capabilities. Training initiatives for Ukrainian soldiers conducted in camps in France and Poland alongside other European countries underscore the multifaceted nature of France's support, extending beyond material aid to encompass capacity building and operational timing. Regarding delivered aid, France has provided Ukraine with Caesar self-propelled howitzers, Milan anti-tank missiles, 84 anti-tank weapons, and Marlin mortars, though exact numbers remain undisclosed. Additionally, France has supplied 2,500 sets of CBR and protective equipment, medical supplies, vehicles, including ambulances, and continuous deliveries of fuel and ammunition. France's commitment to Ukraine extended beyond military support, encompassing a substantial humanitarian aid package aimed at addressing both immediate needs and long-term reconstruction efforts. French government had pledged 200 million euros specifically for emergency humanitarian assistance and the restoration of critical infrastructure within Ukraine. On the delivery front, France has disbursed over 40 million euros in financial aid, channeling these funds through non-governmental organizations and international bodies like the Red Cross and UNICEF. This financial assistance has been complemented by the provision of over 2,700 tons of humanitarian supplies, including essential items like food, medicine, hygiene kits, water purification units, and generators. Furthermore, France played a significant role in supporting Ukrainian refugees, providing reception, accommodation, and access to essential services both within France and in neighboring countries. Since the onset of hostilities in Ukraine in February 2022, France has positioned itself as a pivotal ally to the beleaguered nation. The breadth of France's assistance to Ukraine is significant, as discussed earlier. The relationship between Zelensky and Macron transcended conventional political alliances, characterized by frequent communications, face-to-face encounters, and mutual public support. Macron's advocacy for Ukraine extended to the international arena, where he pushed for stronger sanctions against Russia and sought to unify European support for Ukraine. He also played a key role in attempting to mediate peace negotiations despite a challenging path to a resolution. Despite many challenges, France's steadfast support for Ukraine was clear. Its comprehensive aid, ranging from military to humanitarian assistance, alongside Macron's vocal international support, positioned France as a fundamental ally to Ukraine. Personal bond between Macron and Zelensky added a human dimension to the international response, highlighting the importance of leadership and personal relationships in navigating crisis. But things have changed. As the conflict's outcome remained uncertain, France's role as a firm supporter of Ukraine's war efforts was evident. Through its military, humanitarian, and diplomatic endeavors, France played a critical role in Ukraine's fight against Russia and in shaping the trajectory of this significant geopolitical conflict. But now, things have changed. The long-term efficacy of financial assistance has been brought into question due to the changing nature of the battlefield and the difficulties associated with monitoring the allocation and utilization of funds. As the conflict prolonged, France, grappling with its own economic constraints and the phenomenon which is known as donor fatigue, faced challenges in sustaining its previous levels of support. Moreover, France's apprehensions regarding the provision of heavier military aid highlighted the delicate line between supporting Ukraine's defense efforts and avoiding actions that could have escalated the conflict, potentially draw NATO into direct confrontation with Russia. The domestic response in France also influenced its foreign policy stance. Major protests by French farmers and truckers reflecting broader societal concerns about the impact of France's support for Ukraine have underscored the domestic pressures faced by the French government. Then there was this incident involving French nationals in Ukraine, that is, the targeted strike in Kharkov that eliminated French mercenaries labeled cutely as aid workers by France, were accused by the Kremlin of participating in military activities have further complicated the Franco-Ukrainian relationship. These developments have led to tensions between France and Ukraine, with allegations that President Macron is dissatisfied with President Zelensky's efforts to protect French citizens. These multifaceted challenges highlight the complexities of providing aid in conflict situations where geopolitical considerations, domestic pressures, and the need for accountability and transparency in aid distribution converge. As France navigates these issues, the future of its support for Ukraine remains uncertain. The recent announcement, as reported by the French magazine Challenges, that French President Emmanuel Macron has postponed his planned visit to Ukraine, initially scheduled for February 13 to 14, highlights the complexities and sensitivities involved in diplomatic engagements during times of conflict. Macron's itinerary was to include Odessa, Ukraine's major Black Sea port, followed by a visit to Kiev. However, the French government has yet to officially address the reported postponement. The rationale provided for this delay centers around security concern, common consideration for high-profile visits to conflict zones. Yet, the discourse surrounding this postponement suggests underlying issues that extend beyond mere security precautions. Speculation indicates that the real impetus for the delay is a diminished trust in Ukraine, coupled with a reluctance on Macron's part to exacerbate tensions amid a conflict perceived as nearing its conclusion. This situation underscores the reality of international relations, where official reasons for diplomatic decisions often mask deeper geopolitical and strategic considerations. The notion that the postponement is intended to avoid reigniting tensions suggests a cautious approach by the French leadership to manage its involvement in the conflict, as well as punishing Ukraine for not doing enough in the battlefield and its reluctance in saving French lives. Furthermore, implied loss of trust between France and Ukraine introduces a new layer of complexity to the bilateral relations, hinting at underlying challenges that may affect future cooperation as well. As the conflict is virtually over, the decision by Macron to postpone his visit reflects a strategic calculation aimed at preserving peace, preventing future escalations.